Matthew 23 tells us that, "But be not ye called Rabbi, for one is your master, even Christ, and all ye are brethren." This verse is used to call no one Rabbi. Most will substitute the word Rabbi with Moreh. But when you read Matthew 23 in context, and if you have knowledge of the Hebrew language, you will not fall into this error. Before we look at the verse in part 2 of this two-part session, let's clear up some misconceptions. The first major English translation of the Bible is the Revised Edition of the King James Bible, which was, by law, going to be the official English translation that was to be read in all the churches throughout England. The translation was done from 1604 to 1611. King James employed 47 cardinals, and they were all professors, they were linguists in the top schools in England. They all knew Latin, they knew Greek, Aramaic, Hebrew, English. These guys were no joke. They actually were the ones who made the first translation of the Mishnah. So they knew Torah Sheba'al Peh. The word rabbi was translated as teacher, or the word rabbi itself. This is not a bad translation, but it's not accurate. And this was done with lots of words. You see, much of our translation is based on popular translations, which becomes very problematic. But that's the bed of reality that we have today. But when you look at a word, you have to ask if it's based on a popular translation, or does the word itself actually reveal a different meaning? This opens up a different relationship to learning, because so much of our learning is text-based. And when we are just given popular translations, we are in danger of offering a translation that is not only the reflection of the word, but it's going to now narrow the opportunity to learn much more that is hidden in the word. Let's look at these 4 words: Hinnock, Melamed, Rabbi, Moreh. These 4 words are rendered in English as teacher. If they all mean teacher, then that can't possibly be true. If the Hebrew text uses 4 different words, then they cannot mean the same word in English. To know what a word means, you have to know its 2 or 3 letter root. Then the word will blossom. The word will actually reveal itself. You will see the DNA of the word, if I can put it in such terms. Example, the word emunah is translated as faith or believe. That is bad translation. Emunah means conviction. It means certainty. It means firm. It means commitment. It comes from the root amen, which means I agree, this is true. Not so be it. No. Belief and faith always has room for doubt. Certainty does not. When we look at the word moreh, the root for moreh is instruction. It means to show, to guide. Moreh is not a teacher. That is a popular translation. Moreh is showing the way. It's not teaching, but directing. I am giving directions, but I am not actually doing the work for you. I am helping guide you. I am showing you the way. That is moreh. Melamed. It comes from the root lamed. Lamed as a prefix means 2 or 4. 2 means direction. 4 means purpose. What is the purpose for a melamed? It gives you instructions for a purpose, usually by progression. Hinnock. Hinnock has about 6 meanings. It first shows up in Genesis 31. And Abram heard that his kinsman had been taken captive, and he armed his trained men, those born in his house, 318, and he pursued them until done. The word used trained is hinnock. It doesn't mean trained to fight. No. It means to train. It means to start. Initiating, starting, or fashioning for some purpose that in the future the person can stand in. Training is teaching a skill. How do you acquire that skill? starting over and over again. Enoch is getting the person to be independent, to know how to learn for his or herself. This is the goal for Enoch, starting over and over again. Now the word rabbi or Rabbi. The word Rabbi is translated as teacher. This is not a bad translation, but it's not accurate. Rabbi does not mean teacher. The two-letter root for Rabbi is rab or rab, which means an abundance of, a lot of. So a rabbi is someone who has an abundance of, a lot of wisdom, knowledge, patience, love, styles of teaching, ways of reaching different minds. This is why it's used for teachers, but the word itself does not mean teacher. It means a lot of, an abundance of. The first question we have to ask when we read Matthew 23:8 is, why is rabbi being defined as master here? Notice, the King James renders didaskalos as master. Number 2, why does Yeshua use the same word in addressing Nicodemus in John 3:10? If we're not supposed to address anyone as such, did the author of the book of John not get the memo in Matthew 23:8? We'll answer that question in part 2 of this session.